Is the fall of Bakhmut imminent? And is Ukraine standing up a whole additional army for its counteroffensive? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. It is April 6th, 2023. This is your daily Ukraine update. Let's get into it. Okay, first, when we look at the map, we can see the biggest changes here are in Bakhmut. You can see Russian forces completing their efforts to peel Ukrainian forces away from the Bakhmutka, and they now control comfortably more than 50% of the city. It looks like largely Ukrainian forces are on the western not quite the western outskirts, but the western half of the city. So the danger of encirclement remains fairly low, but it's clear to me that Ukrainian forces probably are on the defensive and are going to be conducting a fighting retreat out of Bakhmut. This is, of course, a problem, not so much because Bakhmut holds any inherent value, but because the taking of Bakhmut will free up Russian forces to defend against future Ukrainian counteroffensive efforts. When we look at the combat map, you guys can see that, there is pretty limited counterattacks. They're just saying over 60, but you can see they are focused in Bakhmut and in Avdiivka, where Russia is also trying to run basically the same playbook, pushing and encircling around the city. When we look at the UK Ministry of Defense, there's some interesting news. We see that the Colonel General Rustam Muradov, commander of the Eastern Group of Forces in Ukraine, has been fired, primarily, they think, due to the failure of Russian forces in Volodar. If you guys are a member of combatvetnews.com, you've seen the footage that we've checked out of the Russian GoPro camera from the 155th Naval Infantry Brigade depicting their efforts to take Volodar. We see just how kind of anemic and underpowered these attack efforts are when they can even make it to the outskirts of the city. It's a good insight. It's also the best way to support the channel. You can see we've got all different tiers here, the same basic tiers as the Patreon, as well as, of course, for free, we have all my YouTube videos on the homepage, as well as news updates on the conflict. So anyway, guys, taking a look at the news, the biggest and I thought most interesting story was actually that Ukraine is training its own what they're calling storm brigades. Sounds like they're trying to sort of take a page from Russia's playbook and have assault brigades. These are newly recruited troops, but unlike Russian forces, they're going through 4 months of training for brand new soldiers and 2 months if they're former police officers or ex-service members. And this is, again, they're calling them strike brigades. These are going to support regular army units in the coming counteroffensive. Our goal is, of course, to find highly motivated volunteers, but Kiev is facing challenges in recruiting new troops. There's been a high attrition rate in Bakhmut, and they almost certainly are going to need new, well-trained brigades to do this. This is, of course, should be a supplement to the Ukrainian active duty armed forces who have combat experience. Again, entire brigades of fresh recruits need to be used judiciously so that they can gain the combat experience to be really effective units. As they point out, great deal is riding on the counteroffensive. If they screw it up, optimism among Western backers could very well vanish. Just like Russia needs victories to secure support from other nation states, Kiev needs victories to show that the billions and billions in weapons being given to them are being put to use to actually take back land. And it's been months since we've seen significant changes by Kiev in their favor. So it's hopeful. 40,000 troops is no joke. especially combined with the tank crews and forces being trained by Western nations. All in all, we still need to see, right? And as we point out, the optimal window for a counteroffensive, I'm of the belief, was sooner rather than later. But we're still, we are still waiting to see when this offensive is going to start and where. So anyway, guys, that's all I had for you. Thank you, as always, for your support. And of course, check out combatvetnews.net. I'll see you guys in the next one.